us more about Tisha B'Av and how to recover, have faith, and find happiness and joy in life. Joining us is Itzhak Marmorstein from the Rav Kook Institute in Jerusalem, and via Skype, Father Eamon Kelly from the Magdala Institute. Hello,
Shalom,
Father
shalom,
Kelly, and
Kelly.
welcome again to the studio.
Thank you. Hi.
So first, let's start with you here in the studio. Let's talk about kind of from the Rav Kook's perspective. I know he was a Kabbalist, the late 1800s, early 1900s. What can we learn from him as far as how he explained recovery and faith in light of dark times?
Well, he said very, very profoundly that the return of Israel to our land is a very strong part of the process of generating a historical return that's both personal, national, and universal. That all humanity has to recover, come back to our state of pure goodness, and as Israel can participate in that process, both each person trying to be as good as they possibly can, then the waves of fixing and improving the world will spread widely.
It becomes like a
and Tisha
butterfly
B'Av, because
effect,
of the time of great destruction, is the time when we realize that what we need to do is an extraordinary act of rectification, of fixing.
Right.
Because that's what is demanded of us.
Right. You know, you look at the common theme. We look at the world and people think there's separation because someone's this religion, someone believes this, and someone believes that. But at the end of the day, human nature is human nature. It's impossible to go through lives without ups and downs. And I think we could see even science, as well as faith, is proving that, you know, our mindset could also affect our reality. Do you agree with that statement?
Very much so, except the understanding in the Torah, and the Rav Kook explains very clearly that human nature at core is Tzelem Elokim, is the image of God.
Correct.
We are at core good, and we want good, and certain distortions take us off that path, but it's the responsibility is to touch base with that part of our human nature. And when we're touching base with that part of our human nature, then we're also touching base with the divine within us, and that opens us to the gates to the divine, the larger divine experience.
Right.
Because when we're in a state of a type of holiness and purity, then we can more readily connect with the larger holiness. And then when our good connects with the universal good, then there's limitless possibilities, and that's how the world is going to be completely repaired, because that's the beautiful thing the Torah says, that the return, the recovery, as it were, is the recovery to our Edenic state. We're returning to creating Gan Eden, but we're the partners in creating
Correct.
it this
It's
time.
not necessarily a literal Garden of Eden. It's a Garden of Eden when things were pure. Father Kelly, as human beings, no matter what we believe in, isn't it true that, like, by us acting kind of in alignment of good and doing, loving others unto love your neighbor as thyself, are universal themes that we should all kind of take heed to help bring other goodness to the rest of the world, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. No question there. It's absolutely essential. Love is the deepest healer, and hostility and violence. And I would say actually the core trauma for humanity is the alienation from our Creator. It's like ripping a child out from the parents' embrace on the street or in the town plaza. There's so much hurt involved. And we have, in a certain sense, with the lack of connection with God, it's a huge battle for humanity, and believers are not free from this struggle, and as we call it in the Bible, calls it sin, turning away from God. This is probably the deepest root of a lot of our problems, and discovering that we're embraced by a loving God who wants our best, then there's so much healing there, and then we're called to bring that healing to others.
This is obviously a very big conversation. People could be talking about this all day and never necessarily agree. What's one little thing people could take away as to what can I do today or this week to kind of tap into that flow? Just something that may come to mind, something simple.
To always see in what way can I offer to the situation, in what way can I give to the situation, in what way can I help the situation that I'm in, and always to look for that, for that opportunity to help.
And, I think another thing is when you put it into practice, at least I try to as well, Father Kelly, it's like when you go out of your way to do something nice, it always gets returned to you. Isn't that kind of also part of being in the flow? You do something nice, and then I gave money to someone, then I found like 10 shekels on the street the next day. Something like that.
There's a beautiful thing in the Hebrew word forgiving is natan. It's a palindrome. It goes the same way. Natan, you give in this direction. Natan, you're giving in this direction.
As they say in Kabbalah, sharing is how you receive, because Kabbalah means receive. Anyway, Father Kelly, please give me a good example from your perspective, what you may tell people that are looking for something to believe in.
Well, just a companion of mine had a very serious heart condition recently, and his heart was racing at 230 or 40 or something like this, so it was very serious, and the doctors couldn't believe that he was able to smile and be humorous about it. And it's amazing how gentleness of spirit, sometimes we get into a very aggressive mode, and obviously we have to understand the real pain that people have. It's incredible pain, torture, subjection to horrendous doubt, and it's not to have a cheap smile or a cheap bit of humor, but somehow the human spirit is not broken by trauma. There's really hope that the human being can overcome trauma. And it's amazing how many people can overcome incredible disabilities from birth or later, accidents, and these cases are a great encouragement for all of us.
It's like any final thoughts from the man himself, Rav Kook, who was obviously quite instrumental, during, before the war here in Israel and according to Kabbalah.
One of the most profound thoughts, if I could, I just
Sure.
condense it very much. He said the entire effort of life is to reveal the Or HaShalom, the light of peace, the light of wholeness that comes not from pushing away any energy or any idea or any flow, any tendency, but in bringing all the energies of life into the Tochayam Hagadol Shel Or Ein Sof, into the great ocean of infinite light. And all the finite lights that way joined together in the infinite light, and we're living in peace and well-being and in shalom.
Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if one day we could all live in peace and harmony? And do you think it's possible? Can we do it? Can we do it at least in our lifetimes, or do you think it could take a few generations?
The Torah guarantees it.
Father Kelly, what do you think? Are we on the way? Are you seeing a big change in how people are treating one another?
Well, there's all kinds of changes going on all the time, but the overall picture is for the Christian is of incredible hope and faith, because what God has done for us and revealed through Scripture and through the reality, the historical reality of Revelation and the Judeo reality of the Bible, the Tanakh, and also in the Christian experience, the beginnings of Christianity with Jesus, the 12 apostles, and all the martyrs through the ages. There's an incredible victory over evil, a victory over hatred, a victory over sin, and sometimes we're a bit more on either side of that as life goes along, and we have to trust and hope, and we can be very confident of the complete victory with trust in God, in even the worst situations.
Listen, and I think we could. I think the three of us here could agree that miracles do exist and can happen if people put their faith in the right direction. Would you say that's true?
Well, the teaching in the Torah is that when we behave with complete ethics, the most important thing that we can do is behave ethically. When we're behaving ethically, then the natural world and the miraculous world are connected. That's one of the discussions in the world of Kabbalah, the connection between the natural, when it's in its pure natural state and doing good, then the miraculous can integrate with the miraculous.
Thank you very much, Father Kelly, and thank you very much, Yitzchak. Always a lively conversation, and we will see you soon. All right, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a short break. Stay tuned.